because MJ and his family got to hear this shit right here. And you shouldn't have to do that to MJ to try to build up LeBron.
LeBron James and Kevin Durant thought it was funny to joke about Michael Jordan's toughest moment. They laughed about how his father's murder pushed him toward baseball. On their show, Mind the Game, they took slick shots, drank wine, and acted like they were rewriting history, downplaying Jordan's greatness and throwing shade at what the 90s era stood for. But they didn't expect this. Larry Bird heard about it. After years of staying silent, the legend finally spoke up. And when he did, everything changed. If you grew up watching basketball in the 80s and 90s, this will hit a nerve. Picture it, two modern stars joking on national platforms, while one of the original great steps in to defend the era that built the game. In that moment, it sent shockwaves through the basketball world that LeBron James and Kevin Durant, two of the biggest stars of this era, were sitting together in what looked like an unfinished warehouse, drinking wine, laughing, and taking shots at Michael Jordan's legacy. Not subtle jokes, direct, disrespectful comments about a player many believe is the greatest of all time. And the reaction? The basketball world exploded. On a July 2025 episode of their podcast, Mind the Game, Kevin Durant made a comment about Michael Jordan's 1993 retirement to play baseball. While talking about longevity, he said something like, "Some people say, I want to go play baseball." At first, that might not sound like a big deal, but here's the context that matters. Durant said it with a smirk. LeBron, sitting right next to him, laughed. To anyone watching, the message was obvious. They were mocking Jordan for stepping away at the height of his career, right after winning 3 straight championships with the Bulls. And this is where it crosses the line. What they were laughing about wasn't just basketball. It was one of the most painful moments of Jordan's life. And that's why this went from disrespectful to completely unacceptable. Michael Jordan's retirement in 1993 was deeply personal. His father, James Jordan Sr., was murdered during a roadside robbery in July of that year. This wasn't a random career move. Jordan wasn't bored with basketball. He wasn't afraid of competition, that he was a son grieving the loss of his father, that he was worn down by the nonstop pressure of the NBA. And he was trying to honor his father's dream for him to play professional baseball, a sport they bonded over throughout Michael's childhood. Jordan played minor league baseball for the Birmingham Barons in 1994. Then he returned to the NBA in 1995 and went on to win 3 more championships. He didn't quit. He stepped away to grieve, to heal, and then came back and dominated even more than before. When Kevin Durant sits there with a wine glass, joking about Jordan wanting to go play baseball, it's not just a shot at Jordan's work ethic. It minimizes the murder of Jordan's father and turns one of the most painful moments in basketball history into a throwaway joke about modern players and longevity.
LeBron James is laughing about MJ not having work ethic and he went to go play baseball. LeBron not going to correct it and say what really happened. He's just going to let Kevin Durant say something that's stupid.
And LeBron? LeBron just sat there and laughed. He didn't correct Durant. He didn't add any context. He didn't show even basic respect for what Jordan went through. He just laughed. Now, if you're a fan of either player, I know the defense already. You're thinking this is being blown out of proportion, that it was just harmless banter, that people are being too sensitive. But ask yourself this. Would you laugh if someone joked about the worst moment of your life? Would you sit there smirking if someone turned your father's murder into a punchline just to win a basketball argument? The clip went viral almost instantly, and the backlash that followed was fast, intense, and completely justified.
Teague, he said something outlandish, and I'm like, I was just thinking in my head, boy, if Kobe Bryant was here, it's amazing how these guys can talk the way they talking now. Because it don't make sense. LeBron's mind the game makes no sense whatsoever.
Former players didn't stay quiet. They started speaking up and calling out Durant and LeBron. Kwame Brown, never one to hold back, went on a full rant against both stars. He called their comments ignorant and reminded everyone of something the modern generation seems to forget. Michael Jordan won a three-peat before he ever stepped away from the game. His time in baseball wasn't an escape. It was a tribute to his murdered father. And unlike LeBron and Durant, Jordan never ran from adversity, by switching teams when things got tough.
MJ and his family got to hear this shit right here. And you shouldn't have to do that to MJ to try to build up LeBron. And I think that's kind of whack that, Kevin Durant said he's a student of the game. But how did you not know this information to say what you just said?
LeBron James' channel often feels like it's focused on lifting up his own legacy and his era. A big part of that seems to involve bringing on players from today's game to criticize the 90s. But what gets ignored is how different basketball was back then. The 90s were filled with true two-way players. Guys who didn't just score, but defended at a high level too. When you give maximum effort on both ends of the floor, offense naturally takes a hit. That's something many modern fans don't understand. Playing in the 1990s was a war. Hand-checking was legal. The game was extremely physical. You couldn't drive to the basket without getting hit. And the best players didn't just survive that era, they dominated it. They won championships while playing elite offense and elite defense every night. But according to LeBron and Durant, those players just lacked longevity. They didn't work hard enough. They quit. They went to play baseball. That level of disrespect is staggering. And just when it seemed like the controversy couldn't get any bigger, something else happened. Something that sent shockwaves through the basketball world. Larry Bird, the Boston Celtics legend and one of Michael Jordan's greatest rivals, reportedly went off on LeBron and Durant over their comments. And if you know anything about Larry Bird, you know he doesn't speak publicly unless he has something serious to say. Larry Bird is 68 years old. He's mostly retired from the spotlight and now works quietly as a consultant for the Indiana Pacers. He's never been someone who jumps in a modern NBA drama. In fact, his last major public comments came years ago when he reflected on his rivalry with Magic Johnson. He has even praised LeBron James before, while still saying that Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time in his eyes. So, when Larry Bird speaks, people listen. According to people close to him, Bird called the podcast comments one of the most disrespectful things he's heard in modern basketball talk. He reportedly made it clear that Michael Jordan's career speaks for itself, far louder than anything LeBron or Kevin Durant could ever say on a podcast. And Bird's words carry weight because of who he is. This is a man who played his entire 13-year career, from 1979 to 1992, through constant back pain and serious injuries. He won 3 championships, 3 MVPs. He represented the toughness of his era. He didn't sit out games for load management. He didn't switch teams to create super teams. He showed up every night and competed at the highest level until his body simply couldn't take it anymore. So, when Larry Bird saw Kevin Durant and LeBron James laughing about Michael Jordan's brief retirement, a retirement caused by the murder of his father, he reportedly couldn't stay silent. And honestly, neither could anyone who actually played in that era. This moment exposed the generational divide that's been tearing basketball apart. To understand why Larry Bird's response matters, you have to understand the real difference between these basketball generations. Because this isn't just about one podcast clip. It's about a long-running conflict that finally boiled over let's start with what defined the Bird Magic era. Because the contrast with today's game couldn't be more clear.
But I can remember going home and telling my older brother, I just seen the best basketball player I'm probably ever going to see in my life. And he started quizzing me, asking me questions. Well, how good is he? I said, well, he's 6'9", he can handle the ball like a 5'9" guard, he can shoot the ball, he can pass like you can't believe.
That was Larry Bird talking about the first time he saw Magic Johnson. And what did he do after that? He went home and worked harder. He didn't complain about the competition. He didn't try to team up with Magic. He didn't look for an easier path. He trained relentlessly every day with one goal in mind. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, click on one of the boxes playing on your screen to watch more similar content.